Today on the Hobby Bench, I'll be looking at MDF buildings from Atomic Laser Cut Designs. Now, as I've mentioned before, I play Zona Alpha. It's a modern war game, a little bit of a sci-fi twist, and so most of the terrain that I have is urban terrain. Of course, with County Road Z, you need something that's going to be a little bit more rural. So I want to try to pick up a couple of buildings that might fit that setting a little bit more. And I was looking through and I found some stuff from Atomic Laser Cut Designs, and they've got some pretty cool kits. This one here is a shotgun shack. It's just a full standing building. It's got a front section that's a porch, and then another main section that's actual house itself. And it's a kit that allows you to remove off the roofs. As I said, there's two sections here, and it's built into two main sections, a main room and a back room. And of course, you have a little porch area here. And it's a pretty modular little kit, pretty functional. I love that you have these little swinging doors. They have a bit of detail on it, and you can look in there. You can see that they've got the wood planks and a little bit more of the wood siding for the building. And I really dig these doors. They're just pretty cool. They're a little functional there, and having them swing freely back and forth. They come with separated out. They have like a wooden frame that sits up in the top, and there's a little hole in the bottom of the actual foundation of the building that allows it to swing through. And I put in a zombie here to sort of give you an idea. You can freely fit through the door. They're a little bit larger than an inch. So if you have working on an inch basis, no problem with that. It's got a little back porch area here. Plop a little zombie in so you can sort of see a little bit of the scale somewhat. But it's a pretty cool kit. Really sort of dig it. A fair amount of detail. And like I said, it's something that looks perfect, I think, for like a more of a country rural house that's not too large. It has a pretty good footprint on it. Pretty solid construction here for the roof. It's pretty easy to move, slip on and off. There is a trick though, of course, that the porch section has to go on front first, and you can see here even the roof. It's got a little bit of a detail on that, sort of show maybe the wood planking, but it fits pretty snugly in there. And then you have a roof section that fits on top, and there you go. Good kit. Enjoy it. Now, one thing though is that there's really no instructions for assembling it, and it's pretty intuitive putting it through, but man, I had problems with this last porch section back here. So please take note maybe of this video. You can see it sort of sits in this little notch, and it's a bit freestanding, but you can see how it has a foundation that fits around the side of that, and that will sort of stick through. It's its own separate section. And so it just took me a while. Everything else I could figure through pretty easily, but man, it just took me forever to try to figure out how to put that back section together. Now, what I thought I'd show here is a little bit more of the side profile of the house, give you a little bit better of the scale with the zombie included with that. Just you can move through, you can get a good idea. It's not a very large footprint, which I like about these kind of buildings, but for 28 millimeter, like a nice little rural house, this is great. They also have some other modern buildings, and I think they did a lot of stuff for the Walking Dead game. And so there's a very simple urban building that I have here, and it's a little sparse on details. You can really not see anything on the walls. That'll have to probably be broken up with some type of posters or something like that. But this is a pretty cool little building. It could be just, basically any type of generic store at all. It has a fair amount of detail inside. It's a gridded area, open windows. And I like these doors. They're functional. They slip in and out, and you can sort of prop them up a little bit, but likely you're going to need a little bit of blue tack. And I do dig that about the doors. It's a way to sort of keep them open and closed. This back door here has a little bit more detail. It looks like more like a side security door, that kind of thing. And it does pop in and out. It's a little bit tight here because I had some of that primer. I like it that you can prop it open. You can sort of indicate it's open and indicate it's closed. But really, probably to make it stick a little bit better, you probably need a bit of blue tack. Now, the roof fits in and it's notched. And this is, I think, well constructed. Won't slip or move around. Really solid there for that. And it's just a solid little building. What I love about it especially is the sign. So the sign has little clips on it, and you can remove that out. So if you want to have just basically a generic building and have nothing that indicates anything special, you can. And then you have this little sign. What I dig about this too is I'll probably keep this blank, and then I can throw on some type of other posters on it, like maybe, Cosmic Comics for a superhero game, or Al's Bait and Tackle Shop, or Frank's Guns and Ammos if I need it. So that's one thing I sort of like about that. You can quickly give it some personality just by messing around with this sign. Overall, it's a pretty good kit. I can show you a little bit more scale there with a zombie inside. It's pretty spacious interior, so if you want to have a little bit more gaming inside of there and maybe doing a little bit more with maybe some sectioned walls, or at least maybe a counter space or some store racks or whatever, you could do that. So here I'm getting a little bit more of a side perspective. You can see a zombie I have here, and it's a good sized building. Doesn't have a huge footprint on it. It's a little bit longer than it is wide. You can look at the scale of the model versus the door. So it doesn't leave a huge footprint on the table, but it's big enough to make, I think, a good centerpiece for an objective. Now, when I saw with the size, I thought, well, what about other building scales and other model scales? And I'm looking here for also Marvel Crisis Protocol. These are a little bit larger, about 32 millimeters and for size. But you can see here that they also fit really well with this. I dig this too for this type of terrain because it's got a nice flat roof. It's odd with Marvel terrain. It's more top-down perspective. So it really does fit very well with that scale too. And I'm throwing in a car here to sort of see how it fits. I'm also going to put in a kiosk on that. And just to give you a little bit better perspective. This is a little hard because of the camera angle there, but I lined it up in the back flush. And then I can sort of show you here how much it overhangs through. So it's a little bit larger than your standard kiosk. I'll do the same out for the front too. And you can sort of see in the side perspective on that. But good size kit. And it fits pretty well the scale of the windows and the doors. Took me a little while lining up. You can see here just a little bit longer there. And I gotta say, for Marvel Crisis Protocol, it's great. This is probably a size 3, the kiosk. I would say the building would probably be a size 4. Good kit to have. And I think it's great for these type of things, is they sort of fit double duty. They'll play multiple game systems and work out real well. So there you have it. Atomic Laser Cut Designs. They got a couple of their modern buildings and the Shotgun Shack. They're just great for County Road Z. Love it for the zombie wargaming. Also for Marvel Crisis Protocol. You can take off the roofs. They're pretty modular. Great kits to buy. I think it's definitely worth taking a peek and putting them on your tabletop.